Now, before we get started, I just have to say I'm a big fan of the Alex Rider books. I mean, the last one I read was Snakehead, but I mean, I love those books. They were such a big part of my teen years. In fact, I remember reading and taking out a graphic novel of Point Blanc from the library and just, it's so good. I love those books. Now, as a book reader, I have to say my biggest pet peeve for the entire show was the way everybody pronounced Point Blanc. Everybody just kept saying Point Blank. Like, no, that's not how it's pronounced. Even characters like Alan Blunt say point blank, and that really bugged me because I'm pretty sure there's a moment in the book where Alan Blunt corrects Alex, who calls it point blank, and then Alan Blunt says, no, Alex, it's pronounced point blanc, as in the French word for white. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest because, yeah, that really bugged me. Alex Rider is a TV series based off the Alex Rider books by Anthony Horowitz, and the first season is a hybrid of the first two books, Stormbreaker and Point Blanc. Now, it's a very strange hybrid because it's both the origin of Alex Rider, Teen Super Spy, mixed in with Alex Rider's second mission. I do get why they decided to skip over Stormbreaker and jump into Point Blanc because they wanted to wash out the taste of that really awful movie. But I mean, I won't lie, I do kind of love that movie, but just it's mainly for nostalgic reasons. Don't get me wrong, I rewatched it. It's awful, the directing is atrocious, but I mean, I still kind of love it. I mean, part of me does wish that the show did adapt Stormbreaker because one, it could have improved massively on the awful movie adaptation, but two, I just really like that book. Yes, the book has massive plot holes, but so does books like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I feel like if Alex Rider, the TV show, took Stormbreaker, told that story, but also ironed out the kinks and got rid of those plot holes, it could have made for a pretty great season of television. But alas, they do this weird thing where they kind of skip over the origin, but they also do the origin and just... it's weird. I'll get into it. To me, the biggest problem with the show is by skipping Stormbreaker, they had to create a weird new origin for Alex Rider. Part of me just wonders why they didn't just do Stormbreaker. Because when they started adapting material from the book, especially in this season when they started adapting the Point Blanc stuff, the adaptation stuff was pretty good. The weak parts of the show for me was when they started to divert from book material and started making up their own things. Now, there are a few things that I didn't like about the show. I thought Ian Rider's death was done pretty poorly. By showing it on screen, you not only take away the mystery, but also by seeing it, it's just not book accurate. Because in the book, Ian Rider is driving home from Cornwall, he's caught in a barrage of machine gun fire, and he dies. And another unnecessary change that I felt they did to Ian Rider's death was the excuse that MI6 gave to Alex. They didn't need to change the excuse from he wasn't wearing his seatbelt to he was speeding. Because one, there was no need to change that, it makes no difference. And two, Alex just kind of overreacts to that. He's kind of just like, what do you mean he was speeding? My uncle never speeded. What are you talking about? The changes they also made to MI6 was also very weird. They say that they work for a bank, but their secret base isn't in a bank, it's just in this abandoned warehouse. Like, what? Their whole cover story is that they work for Liverpool Street Bank, but there is no bank. The headquarters is based in a bank, and there is no bank. I also found it very weird how this version of Alex Rider doesn't go through any form of SAS training. He just magically knows how to do things, or he's just not a very skilled fighter. Like, in episode 2, he gets kidnapped by MI6 and he's tortured, but he somehow manages to know how to survive being tortured, and then after that they just send him to Point Blank. Like, what? He has no form of SAS training, he has no skills whatsoever apart from the stuff that Ian Rider taught him, but I guess that's enough. I just thought it was a really stupid change, especially since, like, in this version, he didn't befriend Wolf immediately, because the whole point of him going to the SAS training was that he befriends Wolf, and then when Wolf shows up in the Point Blank story, you kind of go, oh, cool, Wolf's here. You know, we, the audience, feel Alex's excitement at seeing a old friend. But because Alex and Wolf didn't go through that training together, Alex just kind of gets pissed off when he sees Wolf, and it kind of just undercuts that very powerful moment of friendship in the book. That being said, I love that they got the actor who played Porthos from the Musketeers to play Wolf. I mean, I love that actor, and it was so nice to see him. I was just there like, oh look, it's Porthos! I also thought the show's intro was pretty generic. I mean, I like the song they used, it's pretty good. But I found the weird triangle wipes in the images of Alex walking into a school and then into like a mansion in his school uniform was just so weird. I mean, none of that screamed Alex Rider, teenage super spy. When I think of Alex Rider, I think of, you know, the silhouette art that you see on the books. I feel like if the opening intro looked something similar to the end credits of Captain America the Winter Soldier, or the little end screen that they use at the end of the Black Widow teaser, I think that would have been pretty great, but no, we just get these weird triangle wipes. It's very weird. That being said though, as a show, I like it. when it actually got around to adapting the Point Blank story, I thought the show picked up immensely, and that it was a pretty good adaptation. And I think that there are moments in the show that actually improve upon the source material. Changes like the clone version of Alex showing up at his school and messing up his friendships and relationships, and then attacking his school dance was a great change. It really added to the tension and personal drama, because I mean in the book, the clone version of Alex just shows up and then he and Alex fight in the science block and start a fire, but I have to say, I kind of do prefer the show's depiction of it because it just added more to the personal drama for Alex. The snowboarding scene in episode 6 was pretty great. It made Alex look like a total badass, and I kind of wish that he had more of those scenes in the show. The cast itself is pretty good. Otto Farrant makes a good Alex Rider, but to me, Alex Pettyfer in the film will just forever be my Alex Rider. No offense to Otto, he did a good job, but I mean, he just doesn't hold a candle to Alex Pettyfer. Alex Pettyfer to me was like the epitome of cool. Yes, Alex Pettyfer's acting was a little wooden, but I kind of don't care. Child me just loved him. I mean, he had his BMX, he was riding quad bikes, he was doing flips all over the place, he's got a rope, and he started spinning the rope. I don't know why he was spinning the rope, but it was sick. I mean, when you compare the two, poor Otto Farrant barely gets anything cool to do in the action department. All he gets is this piddly little snowboarding sequence, and I mean, it's cool, I liked it, I just wish he got more cool and badass things to do. That being said, I am looking forward to him growing in the role. The supporting cast is also pretty good. Stephen Delane as Alan Blunt is perfect casting. I mean, you got Stannis the Manus, like, that's awesome. I mean, the only thing I can really complain about Alan Blunt, aside from the whole point blank situation earlier, was that he doesn't have his signature moustache. But I mean, that really doesn't matter. You've also got Ollie from Game of Thrones who plays his best friend, and I mean, he's a cool addition, I guess. Apparently he's a book character. I don't remember him from the books, but whatever. I will say he does get a tiny bit annoying, but I think that's just because the writers try to make him more relatable, so he's such a uber superhero geek, which I kind of just found to be a little bit annoying. It just came across as the show wanting to be contemporary, but I don't know, that kind of inclusion just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, the only weak link in the cast I can think of was the actress who plays Jack, but her performance is fine, it's just her American accent is really bad. Like, God, it was awful. But with all that being said, I am looking forward to future seasons of the show. I think if the next season is a straight up adaptation of Skeleton Key and they don't really decide to go off track and change anything, then I'll be happy. I mean, I want to see Sabina, I want to see Alex go to Cornwall, I want to see Alex become a Wimbledon ball boy, I want to see the whole shark thing. I mean, I basically just want a faithful adaptation. And I can't wait for them to get to future novels like Scorpia and Snakehead, because I think those were my favorites. Everything to do with Yasin Gregorowicz and Alex Rider's father was really interesting. You know, I can't wait for Alex to get entangled with Scorpia and then get assassinated. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I mean, let's just say I'm excited. I can't wait for more of the show. Because I mean, like I've said, the books are a big part of my childhood, and I'm just glad that they're getting a somewhat decent adaptation, and so if the show can keep going for a long time, then yeah, I'm all for it. I'll keep watching. But yeah, that is what I think of Alex Rider so far. I think it's a decent show. It's got some weird changes from the books, but other than that, it's a decent show. I'm looking forward to future seasons. But what about you guys? Did you guys read the Alex Rider books? Let me know down below. As always, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell down there as well. My social media links are also down in the description, so if you give them a look and a follow, that'd be much appreciated. I also have a second channel where I make short films and post all my filmmaking stuff there, so if you're interested in that, please go over, subscribe, and yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time.